Hey everybody, it's Captain Rye coming to you today with Tank Review Tuesday. I think I'm going to call it that. Sounds good to me. So, what have I got for you today? Well, I have the M60 A3 Patton. This is actually the third Patton that you get. No, it's the fourth Patton you get in Armored Warfare. First glances, the M60 is actually very similar to the M48, which you get at Tier 2. Differences, however, are as it goes up in variant, you get an improved gun and the ERA armor packs. So, a little bit of history. What is the M60 Patton? The M60 Patton was continuation development off of the M48 Patton, which was a continuation development off of the M47 Patton, which was developed off of the M46 Patton. Yeah, we've had a lot of Patton tanks. So, the Patton, not new or revolutionary by any means. The United States developed the tank starting at the end of the 50s, and it went into service in 1961. It is probably the most widely developed tank from the United States, with almost 15,000 being built, used, exported in various variants. In fact, the M60 Patton was still on the books for the Army's reserve units in armories around the country up into the 2000s. In fact, there's even one notable example of an angry, irate former veteran stealing an M60 from his local armory and driving it down a Los Angeles freeway after terrorizing a couple of suburbs. The M60 was developed as a result of the Hungarian Revolution, where T-54-55 was driven into the British Embassy. The British determined that their tanks, with their 20-pound guns, were not going to be adequate to destroy that vehicle. So, in combination with the United States and other NATO powers, the developments of new tanks began. What notable service history does the M60 have? The United States did use it in the first Gulf War. It was deployed with some Marine units. It even saw service in Vietnam, though Vietnam, not a really good tank combat location, given that it's covered in very dense jungles and is very, very hilly and mountainous and full of swamps and rice paddies. But still, it did get deployed. I actually had an uncle of mine who was drafted into the Army right at the beginning of Vietnam, and when asked what he wanted to do, he very quickly realized that Vietnam was not going to be ideal tank country, so he told them he wanted to be a tanker, which they let him do, and he was promptly deployed to Germany. So, what are we looking at here in Armored Warfare? This is the M60 A3, the late variant model. It comes with the ERA armor pack as an available upgrade. However, that's really its only advantage. When you compare it to its counterparts at Tier 5, it has by far the worst gun alpha damage. Even upgraded, the British Chieftain Mark V has a better gun alpha damage, and obviously the T-72 has the highest gun alpha damage. It's not the worst in mobility. I would say that it beats out the Chieftain, but barely. It is a slow tank. It's also very large. The tank is, in fact, larger than an M1 Abrams. So you're going to be a big target. Okay, you're a big target. Big deal. You've got all this armor, right? Not so fast. You have a significant problem with the fact that you still only have rolled and cast steel. That means your tank is very susceptible to high explosive anti-tank ammunition, especially from the front and especially when facing the T-72 or even the Chieftain Mark V. If you're playing against PvP and even PvE, you have to be careful. You've still got a lot of frontal armor, and the armor is nicely rounded, so you are going to get lucky and bounce some shots. What my recommendation is, right off the bat, you go straight for the ERA pack, because that's going to come in most handy. The ability to deflect or destroy the incoming heat rounds is going to keep you in the game longer. And with any game, the longer you stay alive, the more useful you are to your team. Unless you're just a really bad player, in which case, maybe you should find a different game. No. Maybe you should just be on the other team. The second best option I would go for is the accuracy and range improvements. Even fully upgraded, your gun's max alpha damage is not that good. It's definitely still one of the worst. So improving your gun, you're not going to see much change. My recommendation with crew skills would be to go for crews that improve the loading speed. Where your base alpha damage might not be that good, you can get that reload down quite a bit and just keep pumping out round after round after round. So, I'd recommend getting the gun upgrades last, but I'd also say that the engine really doesn't do too much. The tank is mobile, more mobile than the Chieftain, but yeah, it's hard to say. Gun upgrades or engine upgrades, those are going to be your last upgrade options. So, how does she play? Well, why don't we take a look at one of the battles. So, here we've got a battle that's been going on in the background, and I've been doing okay. I've taken some hits, but that's gonna happen. Again, this is a really, really big tank. But I've got the ERA packs, so as long as I can try and keep the majority of my tank hidden, and, that's really all of it, and I can only give them the turret to fire at, I should be okay. At this point in the battle, we've pushed forward, we've taken the secondary objectives, and it's really just up to capping. But it's a PvE. Why cap when you can kill everything? The problem with this particular match, I'm not top tier. So I've got to deal with vehicles like that Terminator that are higher tier than me, and will bounce almost every single shot I fire at it. Unlike the T-72, the M60 is not that mobile. It's very, very difficult to get around to the sides of these faster, more nimble vehicles, especially when they can effectively just tear you up the moment they get anywhere close to the side of your tank. More than 10 degrees, yeah, it's gonna hurt. What I've effectively done in this battle is played semi-aggressively. You try and stay behind everyone else, if you will. Don't be the first guy to rush forward. Don't be the first one to try and take out the objectives. Play with a teammate. Never underestimate the value of having a teammate nearby, because with any luck, the enemy will shoot at them first. If your teammate happens to be in a challenger, well, even better, because then they won't take any damage while they're getting shot at, and you can actually get around and do some damage. I was thinking about capping here, go for the easy win. That's the policy I almost always take in nearly every single game I play. And then I decided, no, I wanted to get some more damage in. Maybe get another kill. So, again, I'm around here, I've got to deal with a Terminator. There's pretty much only one spot that this gun is going to be able to do any kind of damage, and that's right on the unmanned turret. I'm not going to do as much damage as I want to. But, doesn't matter, killed him anyway. Now, looking at the clock, yeah, it's time to cap. Let's rush in there. And that's basically how I ended out playing that round. A couple of kills, some good damage, but not playing too aggressively, trying to let other people take the shots for me. Anyway, it's been Captain Rye. I hope you really enjoyed it tonight. If you like it, hit the like and subscribe button. Come back. I'll put another one up next week. This is Captain Rye, signing off.
Great job, Black Company. The refinery is under our control and the explosives have been disabled.